The Parrot Refactoring Kata is one of my favourites. I made a video about it before. It's a small, fun exercise that you can use to improve your programming skills. And today I'm going to show you a solution using Java with IntelliJ. Now this is a really powerful refactoring tool, and I want to take full advantage and show you some of what's possible. Mainly though, the point is to learn about refactoring and software design. So this is the code that we want to refactor, the Parrot class, and it's got this code smell that we've identified, the repeated switches, switching on type code, which is a classic sign that instead of switching on a type code, you should have polymorphism, you should have subclasses, and then you wouldn't need this kind of switching on type code. So before we refactor to that better design, let's just check out the test coverage. We've got quite a few tests, they're all passing. So that's a good start. Okay, so I want to prepare for a new design where I'm going to have different Parrot subclasses. So anything that's calling the constructor will need to potentially construct a different subclass. So looking at the usages of the Parrot constructor, there are quite a few of them. They're all in the test because this is a small problem. But it's worth knowing where the constructor is being called because that's you want to update those. But you want to do that in such a way so as not to break the existing code. So I think a sensible first move here is to replace the constructor with a factory method. And that would allow you to return different subtypes. So I'm going to the refactoring menu and looking for this option. It's not there. Let's have a closer look. Maybe if I right click and ask for the full refactoring menu, it's still not there. I don't know, maybe I'm just clicking in the wrong place, but I had a bit of a look around and I couldn't find it on the refactoring menu. So what I did find though, that if I look at the context menu, it's on there. I'm like, why is this refactoring on the context menu and not the refactoring menu? I don't know. But anyway, it seems to work. So I am going to select this option here, replace constructor with factory method, and it did it. I've got a new static create parrot method here, and the constructor has been marked private. And if I go to the usages now, in the Parrot test, it's using my new factory method. So it should be much easier now to get this method to return a different Parrot type without breaking anything. So I think this was a useful first move. Let's make a commit. Again, I'm using Arlo's commit notation. The small r means a safe refactoring. I used the tool to do it, so I think it was fairly safe. Great, so now I'm in a position to start to prepare for returning those subtypes. So I'm going to put in another switch statement here. And I'll put in all the branches for the different kinds of parrot that there are. And then I'm going to want to return a parrot in each of those. So let's just split up this statement so that I've got a line of code here that I can easily copy into each of those cases in the switch statement. Of course, the tool now warns me I've got duplication in my code. And that's, I mean, it's quite right. I've just introduced a bunch of duplication. And this is a kind of a preparatory move. It's not going to stay duplicated for long. But sometimes when you're refactoring, things temporarily get a little bit worse. As long as you know where you're going, the tests are passing, then I think it's okay. I'm just going to put in a default branch in this switch statement. In Java, it's a bit strange. It's switching on an enum. It knows all the possible values, but it still demands a default branch. I don't know why. So it lets me remove that line of code there. Okay, test still passing. This is a good moment for a commit. So I've done some preparation. I've introduced a switch into the factory method in preparation for my subclasses. Okay, so now I'm in a position to start creating those. So European Parrot. So here I've just written European Parrot, thinking, well, if it existed, that's how I would want to call it. And it doesn't exist, so it's marked it in red. But that also means it will prompt me, would you like me to create that for you? Yes, please, recreate that for me. So it does, and there's my new class, and it's got all the constructor arguments right, but it didn't manage to call the superclass with all the right arguments, and yeah, so let's just help it out there. So we know that it's going to be a European Parrot. I want to be sure of that. I'm going to hard code it here. I don't want anyone else passing in a different type. And then I'll just pass the other arguments. So, but it's still red. Oh yeah, of course, the constructor was private when I made the factory method. So I need to change that to be protected so that the subclasses can call it. Great, so now my tests are passing. I've got my new subtype. Let's make a commit. Create the European parrot. Great, so African parrot is up next. And now I could just do the same as before and just write African parrot and then have it create it. But I thought I'd try a different way. If I go to the class declaration and look at the context menu, it has this option, create subclass. So let's try that out for the African parrot. So there, oh, that's good. It's created the class, it's put it in a file, it's got all the constructor arguments right. It's even called the superclass correctly. So that was a bonus. I'll just fix that first argument. I definitely want this to be an African parrot. I don't want that to be passed in from outside. And now I can use my new class. So when you've decided you need a new thing, you've always got this choice. Do I kind of pretend it exists and just use it? Or do I go and create it and then use it? And both work. I've just done an example of each. So for the Norwegian parrot, I think it works slightly better with the tooling to go and create it and then start using it. Although my preference usually is to use it first, because then I can see how I'm going to use it and I've got more feedback on the design and what it looks like. But in this case, maybe it's not important. Do you like the demo so far? Please remember to actually like the video and subscribe to my channel. So let's go over here and create that subclass, Norwegian parrot. That well-known breed of parrot created by Monty Python. So let's get it right and we'll make sure that this is always going to be the Norwegian parrot. And let's make a commit. We've now got both African and Norwegian subclasses. Great, and now I can see that this is grayed out. I shouldn't be passing this in here. So let's safe delete that type argument in the African parrot too, and the European parrot. Yeah, we don't need it in any of those places. Okay, so it's updated the calls here. I was so busy creating my new class, I forgot to use it. I forgot to write my Norwegian parrot here. Oh, and then the first argument is wrong. Okay, so that was a little bit of, fixing things by hand. If I'd been clever with my tools, I wouldn't have needed that. So anyway, let's make a commit. The test is still passing. I think I got away with it. I've adjusted the constructors to all the parrot subclasses now to have the right arguments. We've got some subclasses now, but they're all empty. They've just got a constructor. So I think it's time to start putting some functionality into them. This is the getSpeed method, one of the ones with the switch statement on typecode. So we want to push this down and use polymorphism instead. So my refactoring menu has got the push members down option. And I want to keep the method abstract in the superclass. So let's do that. Right, okay, so it's warning me there are problems with this. It can't just move this down because there'll be a bunch of stuff that's private and not accessible. So I think we need to sort this out. It's offering to show the conflicts in a view. So let's do that. And I can see now clearly I've got 3 methods and 4 fields that we need to sort out. So I can go through them all now using this view. And so this method, I just need to change the access modifier to protected. And then I'm going to do the same on all of these actually. So I'll just speed through this part. Okay, so now I've gone through and updated all of those private members to protected. I should be ready to actually do the refactor now. Oh, now it says it can't do it. I've changed stuff. Yes, I changed stuff because you asked me. Yeah, okay. My tool isn't quite as clever as I was hoping. So actually, this is probably a better moment to make a commit now anyway. So this was automated refactoring. So I've just changed the access modifiers to protected in preparation for pushing down stuff. So it's a good moment for commit anyway. And let's just try that refactoring again and see if the tool manages it better this time. push members down, keep abstract, refactor. Yes, oh, it did it this time. And look, I've got a nice abstract method here. My tests are all passing. And if I go to my subclasses, yeah, so there's my getSpeed in European Parrot, Norwegian Parrot and African Parrot. So it's just copied all of that code into all of the 3 subclasses. So this is great. It's done what I wanted. And let's make a commit so that we save this state. That was a very safe refactoring now. The tool did it. So, but we've got redundant code here. We've got duplication. So there's a little trick here which I found quite helpful. If I tell it in the switch statement, now this is definitely a European parrot, and for some reason it wanted to import that again. This is definitely European, and then I get this little option. It's offering me, would you like to remove the unreachable branches? Yes, I think I would. Great. Oh, that was quick and easy. They've all gone. That's much simpler. So let's make a commit for that. What we've just done is basically removed redundant code. We know it's a European parrot. We don't need the other branches of the switch. That's the whole point of polymorphism. Okay, Norwegian blue. Let's do the same thing. See if I can persuade it doesn't need to import the type again. And remove the unreachable branches. Oh, so nice. I like it when my tools just kind of do this for me. The code just looks simpler afterwards, and it was not very much effort. Okay, do it for the African parrot as well. Test still passing. Let's commit that. So I've removed the redundant code in all the subclasses now. Okay, so what's next? Oh, let's push down the getCry as well. So this is the same thing. Push members down, keep it abstract in the superclass. Let's do it. And that worked. Great. Abstract method there, and it's copied it into all the subclasses. Let's just commit that. Safe automated refactoring, marked with a small r in the commit record. And now I can do the same trick to simplify all of these and get rid of those switches. Remove unreachable branches, and it just does it. Okay, same again for the Norwegian parrot. And the European parrot. Oh, well, we're really making progress here. I've got rid of all those switches, so let's just celebrate with a commit here. I've removed the redundant code in the subclasses. And my parrot superclass is looking much nicer. No repeated switches, just the one switch in the factory method. So let's just have a look through what we've still got here. Number of coconut. What about the type here? One usage, and it's there in the constructor. So this actually, the parrot doesn't need to keep track of the type anymore. The subclasses are kind of dealing with that. So I'm just going to remove that. Remove that usage of type, and then remove the field. Run the tests, and remove it from the constructor arguments. Safe delete now. Yes, so that's looking quite nice now. The only usage of the type is in the factory method. So this parrot type enum, it's an enum with 3 possible values. But in Java, actually, enums can do more. And it might be nice to move the factory method over here, because it's got more to do with the type than it's got to do with the parrot at this point. So let's just move that. It's another nice safe refactoring. Tell it the type I want to move it to, the enum, and it's gone. Oh, so further simplification of this parrot's superclass. So it's there on the enum now, and it's updated all the usages there in the tests to use the new location of the static method. Static methods are very easy to move. Great, test still passing. This is a good moment for a commit. So let's move the factory method to the parrot type enum. And now this class doesn't actually know anything about the parrot type enum at all. So that's nice. Okay, so what else? Let's look at what else we could push down from here. So I'm looking at the number of coconuts field, and the usages tell me it's only being used in the African parrot and this constructor here. So this is a good candidate to be pushed down to the African parrot, and that would simplify this class and put the code closer to where it's used. So in order to achieve that, I'm going to have to update both of these usages, I guess. So let's start by copying this into the African parrot. So and then it's complaining, well, it's a final. Oh, let's make it not final. That makes the test pass and means that now if I remove it from here, that should still work. Yeah, because the African parrot's keeping track of it. So that's actually a really nice refactoring that allows me now to push down this field, push members down, number of coconuts, and it's warning me. Why is it warning me? There shouldn't be any problems here. And so it's like it's giving me this warning, show the conflicts in the view, and it's saying, well, it won't, no, this is a completely misleading warning. The African parrots will have visibility of it. This tool is not giving me useful information at this point. It's concerned that I won't be able to see it from the African parrot when I'm going to push it down to the African parrot. So my tool is being strange here. Just do it, go on. And it says something random, but there it is. It's moved it to the African parrot, but it's also put it in the Norwegian parrot where it's not being used. So let's just remove it from there. And it's put it in the European parrot where it's also not being used. So actually I wanted it just to push it down here to the African parrot, and it didn't give me that option. But anyway, I think I fixed it. My tests are passing. My parrot class no longer uses the number of coconuts, so I can remove it from here and think I've done what I wanted to do now. Yeah, time for a commit. I was trying to use the tool, but I had to do a little bit of stuff there. So push down number of coconuts to African parrot. Okay, so what else? The number of coconuts in the other subclass constructors, I should get rid of those too. I probably should have done that in the previous step. Okay. Let's just commit that too. Remove the redundant arguments. Okay, so now I've got two more fields here. So this field here is being used only in the Norwegian parrot. Another good candidate to move down. And actually, I think it's the same for the other one. Voltage and isNailed are both just being used here in the Norwegian parrot. So let's copy those down to here. So at the moment, I've just duplicated some code and made some stuff not final, which is a fairly safe refactoring. And let's just run the tests. So now I should be able to remove them from there. And yep, everything's still working. And then it should be safe to move these two fields down into the Norwegian parrot. And so this dialog here, I hoped it would say which subclasses do you want to move down to, but it doesn't give me that option. It's just going to move it to all of them, as I discovered before. And then it gives me this like, oh, there's problems. What are the problems? I'm like, there are no problems. You're imagining it. Go away. So just do it. There we go. Now it's moved them down to Norwegian parrot, but of course it's put them here as well. So let's just get rid of that. So my tool nearly did the right thing for me. But as long as I actually keep in focus what I'm trying to do, run my tests often and make lots of small commits, I think this is okay. This is a reasonable way to work. So let's just remove all those redundant arguments now. This is this is such a useful refactoring, just to be able to remove stuff that's no longer used. Great, so I think I've achieved push down voltage and isNailed. Yeah, it was isNailed, wasn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately, I think I'm out of time there. There is more refactoring that I could do. I could look at these methods and whether to push them down as well, and ultimately end up with a very, very simple Parrot abstract class that even could be turned into an interface that it gets so empty. Before I close though, I just wanted to point out the commit history of this code kata session that I've just done. This was a refactoring kata and I was committing after every small safe change. All of these commits represent a point where the tests were passing and the design was slightly better than it was in the previous commit.
And this is how it should look when you're practicing refactoring. So I encourage you to have a go.
So that was a demo of the Parrot Refactoring Kata. And now it's your turn to try it out. I hope you'll be able to refactor as smoothly and safely as I was. If you like this video, please hit like and also take a look around my channel and my playlist, Top Code Katas in particular. Also, you can support me and my work maintaining all these code katas via Patreon. Happy coding!